I've always found saying no to the first beer really easy. However, when it comes to the second or the third or the 10th beer, that's when saying no kind of becomes impossible. And the reason is not because I'm exactly a massive Peroni fan, in fact, not great. However, the issue comes from ADHD and dopamine specifically. You see, dopamine is a neurotransmitter we create in our brain, and it's essentially the feel-good chemical that also ties in with motivation and desire and things that feel good. Now, as an ADHDer, our baseline dopamine is genuinely really low. A normal person's is there. So what we are going to try and do is things that artificially boost us, that feel good, that ramp us up to a normal person's. The thing is, we often turn to things that are ultimately bad for us, and things that are good for us, such as work, such as working out, those kind of things, it's generally harder for us to motivate ourselves because of that low dopamine. It's a really vicious cycle. Even though they would boost it naturally and benefit us in the long term, getting started is difficult. And then when we find something gets boring or a little bit tricky, that's when we're like, no, screw it, let's turn to something easier. And that's when it's so easy to turn to alcohol or turn to gambling or turn to, I don't know, if you're anything like me, setting your VPN to any country outside of the UK, uploading a certain website and having about 1 minute and 25 seconds of fun. Did I say that's me? Anyway, the point is, ADHD and alcohol is a horrible combination because it is one thing that just after one beer, our dopamine is boosted and we're like, wow, this feels genuinely incredible. I want a second beer. And then you have that second beer and it's like, oh, I'm feeling really good now. And then the conversation starts flowing like even better. You become a little bit cheekier, and hey, that third beer sounds great as well. And then by the time you've had 5 beers, suddenly your belly's not feeling great. And that's probably when a lot of people are like, do you know what? I'll call it a day now. But for me, that's when I'd be like, do you know what? Vodka it is. And I'd turn to the spirits. And then there would be no stopping me. It would just be one vicious cycle. I'd have such a buzz that day. I'd have no self-control because my impulse control would just be through the roof because of the alcohol, which lowers inhibition anyway, combined with my ADHD, where I have high impulsivity. It's a horrible mix. And then the next day comes and the crash is literally ridiculous. I do not want to do anything. I will lay in bed just scrolling on my phone, watching shorts just for that really cheap dopamine hit. And that would then carry on through until Monday and then Tuesday and often into Wednesday. And it wouldn't normally be until Thursday after a big Saturday drinking sesh where I start to feel good again. And by good, I mean kind of normal, but I'd then be like, hey, last Saturday was really good. I can't really have fun without alcohol because come Thursday, I'm judging my non-alcohol state as the previous 4 days when I've been feeling down because of the come down. And therefore I would already be buzzing for Saturday. And it was just a perpetual loop that would literally never end. And as an ADHDer, it's really hard to end that. So what I'm finding already, and I'm currently 3 weeks in tomorrow, I think, without alcohol, is already my baseline dopamine is starting to level out and it's starting to increase. I'm now feeling like myself again. Look, I'm generally, I'd like to think, a confident person. I don't need alcohol, but when I start drinking too often, I realise when I'm sober, I don't want to talk to anyone, especially if I'm tired with it, which is just going to compound everything. I was recently traveling and by the end of 2 weeks, I literally did not want to have any human contact at all because I was so tired. I was alcoholed out and just mustering up the will to have a conversation with anyone felt literally impossible. So being sober has leveled that out. It's made me feel good. It's made me want to chat to people when I'm sober, and it's made me really want to crack on with my work. What I will say is, yesterday there was a period after I finished work where I was like, do you know what I could do with the drink now? I could do with texting one of my mates, seeing if they wanted to go to the pub, because I'd had quite a boring and maybe even difficult day at work. But I didn't. And if I did do that, I guarantee I would have woken up today and had the same problem I faced yesterday, but I wouldn't have wanted to face that challenge head on because I was going to be on an alcohol come down. However, because I didn't drink, I woke up today and thought, you know what, I just need to crack on and get the thing done. And that is exactly what I have started doing, at least, and hopefully by the end of today, that will be complete. But genuinely, look, I can't sit here and preach no alcohol, because at the end of this 6-month experiment, I don't know, I might go back to it. If I do, I know it needs to be a lot more controlled than it has been. But at the minute, I'm really enjoying life without it. But if you have ADHD or symptoms of ADHD, and you feel you're not where you want to be in life, and you feel you're not living up to all the potential you feel like you have, and I do genuinely believe ADHDers, we do have, in a way, a superpower. We can fixate on things and get stuff done, but alcohol really can drain that and make you feel worthless and kind of make you a little bit useless for quite a while, literally days on end potentially. If you feel that is you, then just go a few weeks without alcohol, see how you feel, and then reassess your decisions going forward from there.